Hey, it's Fear. I just want to let you know the episode of FEARCast you're about to listen to is from season 1, so it's old and the material might not be relevant. The conversation's still good, but the band may or may not be still together. The person making movies might not be doing it anymore. But just in case, I wanted to put it out there so you guys can check it out. And also Google the bands, see if anybody's still around. And if you hear music you like, there you go. Also, check out any of the movies mentioned because movies are always still around. Well, I guess unless they pull them away. Anyway, it's an older episode, but a good episode, so I wanted to put it out. Stay tuned, nftfyb.com for everything new. And I hope you come back and enjoy season 2. We're getting some new guests and getting this thing going. So check out the other podcasts, Talk Life Pod, A and Way, and of course, FEARcast. So run along, kiddies. Are you ready? And welcome to FEARcast, everybody. I'm your host, Fear Innes. How the fuck are ya? Fuck a case of the Mondays. You got a case of FEARcast, baby. Get it in ya. Today, I got the wickedly awesome time to sit down with Tom Costabile. Fuck. I knew I'd fuck that shit up. How you doing, Tom?
Oh, that was great, man. I'm doing good, Fear. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
No problem. Really dug the movie, but before we get going, why don't you tell my people a little bit about yourself and how you got into film?
Well, actually, I went to film school when I was a kid. I got my animation degree when I was like a teenager still. Okay. I think I was like 20 about it. And then I went into film school, moved to LA. But I got really tied into like the real estate world here. It was booming at the time, like the early 2000s. So I was doing mortgages and real estate and stuff and kind of like diverted away from what I came out here originally to do in the first place. And then finally after like the crash and stuff like that, I figured, man, if not now, when, you know, so I just got back into it.
That's pretty interesting, man. So you went from animation to real estate?
Yeah, animation to film school to real estate, yeah. I mean, it was, at the time, I'm a little bit older than you, but at the time, like, Star Wars 1 was coming out, and, you know, there was this whole talk about this all-digital character that's going to be in Star Wars 1 named Jar Jar Binks, okay. And CG is going to be the future of film.
I think that's the time nobody knew it here.
Yeah, JJB, man. But so I mean, like CG was already like a thing a little bit, but you know, back then it wasn't the norm at all, and it was getting there, and it was probably from a business standpoint, it was a really good move. But after actually doing it and going to school for it, I just, you know, I reverted back to being a filmmaker because it's always what I wanted to do anyway.
So you decide, you know what, I'm done with the houses. Work my way back into film. Where did you start? Did you just kind of cold turkey it? I'm going to write something and we're going to make it, or?
Well, in the beginning, it was more along the lines of like producing and wanting to be on set and doing music videos and shorts and stuff like that, and the stuff you do in film school too as well. So there was like an outside and inside film school thing going on. But I was kind of like really scared and nervous to write and direct my first one. I always just wanted to, you know, work for other people in the beginning, but somehow, some way, it just worked out that I just always like just helped produce and stuff like that. I never really got into like directing for somebody else or writing for somebody else. That had never happened. So when the time had come that I wanted to do it, I just wrote and directed myself.
That's pretty cool, man. And so is Voodoo the first one, or did you have anything else that you kind of worked into?
Yeah, I mean, originally, actually, I had funded a picture called Little Diddy, which is a picture I wrote a long time ago. It's actually about my dad. My dad was like a maniac, you know, like you know, beating up my mother and stuff like that. So there was like this whole story that I wrote around him, that he was actually the second person arrested in Cook County history for domestic violence, which is Chicago, because back then it wasn't illegal. So I wrote this whole story, and kind of like going back into like episode 1 and stuff like that. You know, I was a huge Star Wars kid, so the whole idea before episode 1 came out of like how a good kid goes bad, and how, you know, you're gonna see Anakin turn to Darth Vader. That just kind of like motivated me to write about my father. And when I had funded that right before the crash. And then when the crash happened in like 07, 08, I had to start dipping into the fund that I had for that picture reserved. And slowly but surely it just kind of died away and I never got to do it. So Voodoo was always something I wanted to do. It was like an extreme horror type of picture. And when Blackout Haunted House started doing really good, that was when I kind of said, you know, the world is probably ready for some kind of extreme horror stuff. You know, like the stuff that you had seen like a long time ago from other countries that never really made its way here, you know, like Dario Argento stuff. You know, Argento stuff was just incredible to me. I just thought it was great.
I'm glad you tapped into them, man, because there's a lot of stuff that's been way wilder for a long time. And it feels like North America is just slowly kind of working its way into some of the more, like you said, more cerebral, more deep shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then when Blackout was doing really good, and when I had heard what happened at that, I'm like, how do you call this a haunted house? Like, there is no way this is like an S&M torture house. This is, but when I heard that it was doing really good and it was sold out like every night, I was just like, wow. So it's like finally happening here. You know, like people are really starting to get into like crazy stuff, and it actually got me really excited and motivated me to make the movie.
So was Voodoo something kind of when coming off of that, you had sort of an idea of what you wanted to do, and then you just began to tell the story, or did it just come along from going to haunted places, sort of certain things like that? Like, where did you come up with the concept and end up in hell?
I mean, to tell like that kind of extreme story with the kind of stuff that happens in Voodoo, I just really stopped to think about it, and I just like, you know, to make it conceptual as possible, hell would have probably been a really perfect environment for it. I mean, even though I felt like, you know, audiences were starting to get there and the people wanted something like this, you still had to deal with the distributors and stuff like that, and getting past the MPAA and getting past distributors and getting someone to even pick it up at all. You know, like you could have a picture that you believe 100% that audiences are going to dig and love, but then you still got to go through the system. And I thought the only way that was probably going to pass the system was to put it in a setting like hell. Which in film and cinema, I've never really seen hell like that much. You know, like a lot of people compare it to like Baskin or something like that. But there's only been like a couple of, you know, pictures I could name off the top of my head that I've seen a long period of hell on film. And that was kind of like the whole idea of the picture was we were going to show hell for half the movie, which it is. And just like I said, going off of the hope that distributors will allow what happens in hell to be distributed, because, you know, it's a perfect setting for doing extreme stuff.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, so let's let the cat out of the bag. Let's talk a little bit about the movie. So we got a young, innocent Southern girl who takes a vacation, and take it from there, man.
She goes to LA to stay with her cousin Stacy. She was dating a guy named Frank, who was married to a voodoo priestess, and she didn't realize he was married. He was cheating on his wife with her, and the voodoo priestess found out, chases her to LA, and possesses her cousin, kills her. She dies and goes to hell. That's probably like in a really quick summary. That's what happened.
The Cole's Notes version.
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is one thing, like when I wrote my review, that I really wanted to ask you is, why did you decide to go with it being found footage versus just straight telling the story?
I just really thought that it was something I always wanted to tackle. A lot of people think that found footage, and sometimes it is the case, that it's way easier to film and it's cheaper and everything like that. But from a filmmaking standpoint, if you're doing a lot of one-take shots and things like that, it's actually very difficult because, you know, the focus pulling alone is just extremely difficult. And to have a girl, you know, documenting her vacation and stuff like that, it just kind of made sense to do it in the found footage, you know, realm. A lot of people think that it's actually not found footage, but it is. You know, there's this whole, you know, gray area. So the style that we kind of actually went after was reality TV. Is, you know, as close as it is to found footage, it is a little bit different in style. So we just played it as like documenting a trip. And then when she takes the camera to hell and stuff, originally the idea was that we were going to put the movie in 3D. And it was going to be like an old 80s movie and stuff where like the 3D glasses flash on the screen and then you put your glasses on when you get to hell and stuff and you know that the crazy shit's coming. And we never really got to do that. We didn't get to film it in 3D. It was just too difficult on set and we were just too restrained with time and budget, unfortunately.
Shit, that would have been pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's like so many shots that we actually designed because we were like, okay, we can't shoot it with the two cameras, but like we could do it in post and stuff like that. So there was always the ideas. But then when it came down to like AMC wanted to pick up the picture, which they ended up doing in the end, thank God, they wouldn't allow for half the picture to be in 3D. The whole movie would have had to have been in 3D for them to accept it. So supposedly they don't even allow anymore like that glasses flash thing. You know, it's either all or nothing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame, because I think that would have been kind of neat. Sort of.
I know.
out of the box compared to everything else that's going on. Like, I don't know.
I know, man. It's like it's gonna be. I mean, that was like the funnest time for me. Like, I think one of the last movies I ever saw like that was one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and like at the end, you know, you put the glasses on and stuff. I mean, that was so fun. I don't know, like, why they would make that go away. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it was like it was interesting, kind of gimmicky. It was kind of out of the box sort of deal. And I guess now, because they're like, well, everything's in 3D and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I feel like some of the stuff that we held special when it came to horror has slowly been edited away.
It's happening daily. Like, you know, like the whole thing about going to the store and, you know, picking up like B horror movies and stuff, like those days are gone. Even distributors now, like they want horror. They want it all day long. But they're going into the mainstream side of it where you need actors and it can't be found footage. And, you know, they're really pushing horror from like a mainstream standpoint. And it's kind of scary because, like, me personally, I love B horror movies, you know, like that was my thing. And I don't know like how it's going to play out in the next like 5-10 years really. But I mean, there's like little companies, distributors, you know, like at AFM and Can and stuff like that are still doing it. But I don't think it's going to be as mainstream anymore, or as popular as it was, I should say.
Yeah, no, and I agree, because like that is kind of disheartening, I guess you'd say, because that was some of the funnest times I had to going down to the fucking local store and taking a look and just looking at all the different movie covers and how outrageous they could be and picking which one you want to watch. Like, there's kids in film school that have never fucking gone through that. They have no fucking clue that that's a thing.
I know, it's so sad, man. I don't even know what to say. Actually, I was just doing an interview not too long ago, and they like with me, and I brought this up. And I remember when I was a little kid. I mean, even like the big stuff, like the Exorcist box. You know, like if you saw like that box of Max von Sydow staring at that house, that just scared me. And like you would get like things like that, like all over the place, like Attack of the Killer Clowns. You know, like even with Voodoo, they're not even putting it on DVD. They want it VOD only because the money that goes into the DVDs now is just too much, and nobody is really doing it. Like, if you go to Target, Best Buy, Walmart, you can still buy DVDs, but it's all going to be like big studio stuff or classic stuff, or, you know, there really isn't a ton of B horror movies out. I guess Walmart is still doing it a little bit, but not on a scale big enough for everyone to put everything on DVD still.
No, and that's interesting. That was something I talked with Harrison Smith a couple of episodes ago, and we were just talking about the decline in hard media. Like there's folks out there, like I try to collect Blu-rays and stuff like that, but it's like nowhere near, like, because I used to have hundreds of DVDs and hundreds of VHS, and just like that's not the way it is anymore. When you can just get it on Netflix or whatever other many different streaming devices there are anymore, or VOD or that sort of thing. So we've seen this decline in hard meat. Like, fucking Blockbuster's gone, man. Like, it's just crazy.
I know, dude. They're extinct. I mean, really. They even tried to do the VOD thing too, if I remember correctly. Like, one of the last times I went into the Blockbuster House, they had this whole thing about Blockbuster VOD. I don't even think I don't think that's even still around. So I don't know, man. It sucks, like, where it's all gone, really.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like, I think they were too little, too late. I thought I read somewhere, and it could totally be fucking horse shit, so don't hold me to it. But I think at one point, Netflix tried to get them to buy them or something like that, and Blockbuster said, like, nah, no one will do that. And now Netflix is fucking huge.
Wow, if that's true, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think I read that somewhere. It could be horse shit, but like that'd be one of those situations where everybody in the company kicked themselves on the way out the door.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially, there were like two sides of the fence to that too, because they had taken out like every mom and pop shop in the United States. So like there were a lot of people like on that side of it, like, you know, the Amoeba Records and stuff and the Tower Records, who were like praising that Blockbuster fell. But at the same time, what it did was it took away the whole like side of the industry with it. And it just sucks, man. Like, me personally, I tear when I think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I received an email in regards to it. It sounds like Voodoo's catching a lot of flack with a lot of the spiritual forums and bloggers and that sort of shit. Have you been paying attention to that mess?
Dude, it's so insane. I mean, daily on our Facebook page. Okay, so like I don't know like why this is, but the distributor and the marketing team really wanted to do it this way. So we had voodoothemovie.com, which was an actual site, and now they wanted it to direct a Facebook site. So if you go to voodoothemovie.com, it goes right to the Facebook page. And we've been bombarded daily with people from like Christian sects and Catholic sects and voodoo sects and everyone just talking about how we are evil and take that movie down and who do we think we are. And, you know, so you got like the Christians who think that we're trying to turn everyone into Satanists. And then you got the voodoo people that are thinking that we're trying to demonize a spiritual African religion. It's just a daily event of people just trying to knock us down. And it's like, we're just making a movie, man. Like I was a Catholic when I was a kid, you know, I was an altar boy. I would go to church all the time. And I know what happens in those things. They talk about hell, they talk about the devil, and you can't do this, you can't do that. So you could talk about it, but I can't show it. Like, how does that make me like trying to turn people into Satanists or something? I have no idea what they're talking about, but man, it's just reality.
That's now. Did you had to know that was going to happen, right?
I mean, you always have this thing. I to be honest with you, I didn't because I didn't think in a million years that this would ever take off the way it did. You know, like when we started getting good reviews and stuff, I was like taken down, like, holy cow. You know, like this was like talking about blockbuster and stuff. Like this is supposed to be just a little B horror movie that went straight to Netflix one day or went straight to DVD or whatever, you know, and it's kind of taking on a life of its own. We got like 2 million views on Facebook trailer. It's just really gone viral and it's affecting, it's turning a lot of people, a lot of genre people towards the picture. Like people, like if you look on their Facebook pages, you look at the demographics, there's like people who like Toy Story and Britney Spears that are watching the movie. And that's like something I never thought in a million years would ever happen. Like that's not my demographic, man, you know? Like the fact that those people are watching it is just kind of like, wow, it really has like taken on a life of its own. And when you're really just reaching out for the genre demo, you know, like that usually doesn't happen, you know, because it doesn't even make it big enough to where churches even know you exist.
Well, that's what I thought was pretty awesome for you to come out of the gate with this film, and then I get it, and I really enjoyed it, and then I get this email about how people are going crazy, and I'm like, really? Like, I took it the same way as you. It's kind of this B-rated thing that was kind of gonna go under the radar, and like I don't know, the right people got pissed off, and now the fire's fucking going, man. I like, has it been picketing or anything like that? That'd be crazy.
Actually, there was one, I don't know where this guy was from. They showed me the email. What was his name? I don't even bring up his name even if I remembered, but he like put out a blast to his parishioners not to watch this film. And it was like some kind of newsletter or something like that he had sent, and he sent us a copy of the newsletter that he sent his parishioners. And this was in like, I think Mississippi, somewhere in Mississippi. So, I mean, when it gets into like the South, like the Bible Belt, again, like they're really not happy about it. And I don't know. I mean, it's just from a PR standpoint, I guess it's a good thing, but from like a normal standpoint, it's like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? You know?
Yeah, no doubt. Like I can totally see that it'd be pretty overwhelming, but I remembered when Kevin Smith's Dogma came out, and it was like,
oh yeah,
everybody was going crazy. So Kevin did the Kevin thing and went out and picketed the film with himself. And that's totally what I do. I'd be looking online to find out when they're gonna do this, and then I'd be there, be like, yeah, fuck Tom, he's a dick.
Yeah, just get like a beard or something, like a hat.
Like just keep the fire going. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, especially excuse me, I got a little cold. Especially like I said, because we're reaching demographics that we didn't even think we would reach. You know, like I don't know like how big, because it's still really early. It's only been out for 2 weeks, I think. So it's like it's just really starting to like, the word is just finally starting to get out, I think. So like the past like week, it's been like kind of viral, I guess is the best word I could say. But so it's going to be really interesting to see the way it plays out for sure.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I think it's awesome. I think it's even awesomer that's pissing people off. It's so funny because like, so one asshole will see it and be like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then instead of like not saying anything, he goes out and tells 50 other assholes, like, do not watch this movie. And I know that those people were like, well, I have to see this shit. How bad is it?
I know, man. Everyone thinks that. You know, the funny thing is we've got a lot of the complaints too from England, and we didn't even open up in England. And it's like, how is that happening? Like, well, how are these people like commenting on the film? And for some reason, it's not traveling well to England, and it's not even released there. So, however that makes sense, I have no idea. Even like YouTube channels and stuff are filled with people from England, the UK. This is shit. This is rubbish. This is blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, dude. Like, sorry.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude. That's the kind of shit you want. You want everybody up in arms, so then everybody else goes, holy, this must be really fucking crazy. I gotta go see it.
I know, man. Thank you for your review again, by the way. That was awesome. We blasted that like right away. It was so cool.
For sure. No, thanks, man. I love supporting guys like you. And you had a really good cast as well.
Oh, thank you, man, very much. Actually, I thought Sam and Ruth just killed it. You know, like they were so good. We redid like every single take like 20 times, and we ended up like going back to like take 1, take 2, take 3. So like the whole movie is comprised of 20 takes for each shot that we should have just stopped at take 3 because they just pulled it off better in the beginning than they did later. So yeah, they did great. Their dialogue was great. I thought, you know, their improv was incredible. They just really ran with it. They were awesome.
Well, then I was curious about that. Is there a lot of improv throughout the film, or just certain areas that you kind of let them riff a little bit?
I was really free to them improvising. So we would have the script. I mean, they pretty much would say like anything on the script that was there. So all the lines are there, but they would also like go on more tangents and they would take it further. So like a 2-liner in the script would become like a 4 or 5-liner. So that happened a lot. Excuse me. So, and I was very open to it. Like the whole thing about them was like, look, we want to go here, we want to go there. I'm like, go play, you know, do it. Let's go. Especially because the half of the movie is just screaming. Yeah. So like the first half, the exposition that had to come in, you know, if they found a clever more way than I did to make it seem subtle and just work its way in, I was definitely open for it.
Well, and like I think that even helps, and that's what I like about even in the review I said like found footage is everybody thinks it's really easy, but it's kind of a tricky bitch because you want it to feel real. And so yeah, I think that's why it was kind of good that you did give them that freedom, because a lot of times when they were talking, or even like when they were sitting around the pool and it was a group of them, it actually did feel like we were kind of involved in their life.
I thought so. I mean, actually, I filmed the first half of the film entirely in 6 days. And then I went back. I wasn't even going to do hell if I didn't feel like how you just felt watching that film. So I looked at it from like a real audience standpoint, like how natural is this coming off and how real is this coming off? And that was what made me even finish the picture in the first place.
No, that makes a lot of sense to me. And then you get Ron Jeremy to show up. How did that
He's awesome, man. The guy's a sweetheart. I don't know if you ever met him, but he's just a sweetheart. He's like one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you already always have him kind of in mind for this, or do you know him? Like, how did it get kind of set up?
Yeah, I've seen Ron a long time. I've been going to the Rainbow for like at least 14, 15 years now or something like that. And he's there all the time. Like he's there like every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So when I was actually writing the script, I wanted to go to the Rainbow because they were going to let me use the place. You know, I've been going there for so long. I knew the owners and the managers and stuff. And I talked to them, you know, while I was writing it. I'm like, hey, can I do a scene here? They're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm going to have them go to the Rainbow when they go out to Sunset and stuff and do the Hollywood thing. And then I'm like, well, I got to have a celebrity encounter. Like, who can they see at the Rainbow? Ron Jeremy, you know, like, because that would really happen in real life, man. If you go to the Rainbow, you're probably going to run into him or Lemmy, or, you know, so well, Lemmy passed now, but back then he was still around. So, yeah, I wrote him in, and I didn't catch him forever. And what ended up happening was he had a heart attack, and he hadn't come to the Rainbow for months. And I was like, oh my God, like I got to find this guy. And I couldn't find him. I couldn't get his number. And then the weekend before we needed him, he actually showed up to the Rainbow with Dennis Hoff. And I was like, dude, please, Ron, you got to do this. And he agreed, like right on the spot.
Oh, that's awesome, man. It really helped because it was like, it was just subtle enough sort of celebrity encounter that even watching it, I'm like, yeah, I feel like that could happen.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to LA, man, but I guarantee it'll happen. Like, go any Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, and you will run into that man for sure.
That's pretty fucking funny, man. What up, kiddies? It's Fear. I'm just dipping in here. It's time for Song of the Week. But first, I hope you're enjoying the interview with Tom. Dude was great. If we haven't enticed you to go watch his new movie, Voodoo, I don't know what's wrong with you. Go watch that movie, man. It's really interesting, and I can't say enough good things. But it's time for Song of the Week, and it's coming from band Traverse the Abyss. And the song is called 21 or Bust from their debut album, The Gamble of Life. These guys are from Scranton, Pennsylvania. They've only been around since October 1st, 2016, man. And you know what? It sounds pretty fucking tight. They blend a lot of metal subgenres together and create their own sound. Check it out. Like I said, Traverse the Abyss. This song is called 21 or Bust. Fuck yeah. Traverse the Abyss, man. 21 or Bust. I'm telling you, for a band that hasn't been around that long, they're certainly fucking killing it. Check them out. I'm going to have links to all their good stuff, their social media, everything, and just in the liner notes in the description here, so you can go ahead and check them out. And if you want to be featured on FEARCast, go ahead and send your send your stuff in, man. If you have an EPK or if you only have a track and a high-res logo, little brief bio, that's all it takes. And just submit it fear at FYFCstudios.com. And we'll go through it. And if we dig it, then for sure it's going to be either Song of the Week or, you know what? I got a ton of fucking music. So I think I'm going to throw together a couple of mixtapes, like a mixtape podcast where I just play a song, talk a little bit about the band. Because there's so much fucking really cool music that got submitted. I want to thank everybody that's taken the time to send me your stuff. It's going to take a bit for me to get through, but it's a great way for you guys to get heard, and it helps me because fuck, I get new music to listen to, man. I'm always looking for cool shit, and it's the same if you are a director or writer. If you have a film you'd like me to check out, whether it's just to review for the site or you never know, you could get your ass up on the podcast and we'll have a little chat. Either way, man, hit me up the email. Everything can be found at fyfcstudios.com. And I hope you enjoy. I'm going to get the fuck out of here so you can listen to me and Tom go back to hell. Thanks, guys. I was reading through the IMDb and there's like a ton of like little trivia sections on there. It sounds like you guys had a lot of like little weird things happen as you were going.
Oh yeah, man. It was like, when you're going through it, you don't really stop to reflect on those kind of things. But when the distributor and everyone was trying to get ready to make the IMDb page and the trivia stuff came up, and they're like, okay, it's like, what were the weird things that happened? And then it was just like one thing after another that we kept on recalling. It was like little weird things. Like if we wouldn't have gone over budget with Hell, like with the build, we never would have wrapped on the night of the blood moon, which was like really cool. Like everyone on set was taking pictures of it. It was like, dude, this is fate. This is like so Satan's way of telling us thank you or something. Like, I don't know, so we just really like rolled in that one for a long time. And then the one that always like stood out to me, this was one I'll never forget, was the one where I was in the office building. I got a post-production office in Agoura Hills, and nobody there knew anything. I had rented it under my mortgage company. I didn't rent it under my production company. So there was no way they could have known about Voodoo at all. And I get there the first day and to, get the furniture and stuff like that. And there's a Voodoo doll sitting in a paper tray on a door. And I was just blown away just completely.
Holy shit. Did you keep it?
I've never seen a Voodoo doll anywhere randomly in my entire life except for that day.
Oh man, that's pretty crazy. Did you end up keeping the doll?
Oh hell yeah, I got it.
Like,
I got it in my office. It's framed in like a box.
That's so wild. And you have no idea where it came from.
Absolutely not. I even talked to the manager about it. I'm like, who? He's like, well, maybe the last tenants left it. I don't know. Maybe the maid put it in there, but no one knows. Like the landlord definitely didn't know. I didn't know. It just was the craziest thing that I've ever gone through in my life. For some weird reason, I was scared originally when I first seen it, but then it was like meant to be. Like I felt like I was on the right path or something. It was weird.
No, and I think
there was a movie. I can't remember what it was. I think it was The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and she found something on the floor, and it played a part of the story where she felt that at that moment she was at the exact same place at the right time. That faith is real, and she's on the right path. It was like exactly the exact same experience for me.
That's fucking sweet, dude. Well, yeah, and it kind of sounds like there was a few different things, like you said, rapping on the blood moon. There was something about the VX shots came to like 6.66 gigs or something.
Oh yeah, that's true. Every shot. Okay, so we had I think 6 right there. We had 6 VFX artists, I think, on the picture. Don't quote me on that. It could be 5, but I think it's 6. And we would give each of them had like multiple shots, and they would deliver multiple shots back. And you deliver them in whatever the gigabytes are, and they would send them back. And at least one of the shots that each one of them delivered had 666 somewhere in there.
That's crazy, man.
It was nuts. I mean, it was like little things like that until the distributor, made me stop and think about things that I didn't even, reflect on it. So it was like, I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, I just felt like this is something, and you do these things, and it takes years of your life and tons of money and tons of dedication. And it's little things like that just make you feel like you were supposed to do it. And that is enough for anybody, regardless of how successful it is, regardless of how many people like it, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And that's what I mean. Like it's good that you go back, you reflect, and you're like, holy shit, there's all these like weird little idiosyncrasies that kind of lead up. But at the end of the day, like you're shooting a movie about fucking hell. So yeah, perfect. Most other people would be like, this film's fucking jinxed, but you're like, nah, this is how it's supposed to be.
I know, man. It was especially for me because I grew up Catholic. I was saying, I was an altar boy, man. So there was always something about this movie to me, like, am I treading on the wrong path here? Am I doing the wrong thing? Because it's scary to make stuff like this sometimes.
Well, and that's kind of what I was going to ask when you mentioned that you were an altar boy earlier. Like, are you still practicing kind of thing? You did it when you were younger?
Yeah, just when I was younger. I think the last year I went to Catholic school, I was in 6th grade. 7th and 8th grade, I went to public school, and then I went to public school for the rest of my life until college. But yeah, I mean, I'm Italian, and we all kind of grow up with that Catholic, background. And once you reach an age of reason, I think the way George Carlin put it, you just kind of you separate yourself away, and you realize it's kind of like bullshit. But for me, it's not that I think it's bullshit. I think it definitely serves its purpose. I don't necessarily believe in the way that they treat it, Yeah. So actually, that was a period of my life where I kind of went more into Christianity itself, opposed to Catholicism. And then as I got older, I became a theosophist, which is the study of all religions and the mythologies behind them, and trying to find the ties that bind. And I've been into theosophy now for at least 12 years, 11 years, something like that.
That's pretty cool, man. Like I don't know what I am, but I think it's, well, I don't know. I don't even want to label it. Like I have beliefs of different things. I'm not a big fan of organized religion and that sort of stuff. I just feel like it's good for some people. Some people need that sort of thing. And the people that use it and they're good people and they feel good about what they're doing, I'm 100%. Whatever makes you a better person, go for it. I don't give a shit. You could believe that cheese talks to you. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're not stabbing people in the neck, I don't care. But like,
I know, man. I'm the exact same way.
So that going back to it. So that's why I thought, because this is when we go into hell with you, it's or Sam, I guess. It's sort of the traditional kind of biblical sort of. This is kind of what everybody thinks hell's going to be like. And I was just curious if that was kind of stuff that you dredged from your past, and then like this was just your idea of kind of what hell would be, or if it was just sort of something you kind of straightforward. This is what I've been told. I feel like this is what hell would look like.
Yeah, I mean, as a writer, for sure. I mean, because like I had that Catholic background, and being into Catholicism and stuff, and reading all the mythology about the devil and hell, and the brimstone and the fire, and the pain, the torture, all that other stuff. But then as I got older, I just thought the devil would be, I don't know how, maybe reclusive is probably the best word. Like he would just be like this dude, like sitting in a corner in a dark cave, just like, thinking all the time. And, I get really dark when I think about these things. And then a lot of people actually like to ask me, like, well, hell isn't a part of voodoo. Like, where did you come up with that part? But what happens is that the voodoo priestess curses her to hell, in her own personal hell. And because the character is Christian, her hell is that of like a Catholic Christian hell, the way that I would always imagine it to be. So it is like I guess a part of me that this is what hell would look like, because that is the tradition for the religion I was brought up on anyway.
No, that's pretty good, man. And I'm glad you brought it up and set it up that way, because that makes a lot more sense now that I'm thinking about it. And in regards to like voodoo itself, did you have to do any sort of kind of reading it? Well, I guess you said you've read all different kinds of religions. I was just curious how much research you went into it going into the film.
A ton, actually. A friend of mine, Corey, he came. We ended up getting an apartment together, and excuse me, he's from Africa. He's from Nigeria, and he was bringing like all these movies from Nigeria. They have a market called Nollywood where they just make movies and stuff. And their movies look like novellas from like Telemundo or something, you know, and it's kind of like that kind of feeling, you know, but they're motion pictures opposed to, you know, hour-long sitcoms or shows. And it's just a very innocent religion. So like when he started doing that, I started really getting into it and, you know, interviewing him about it and, you know, reading documentaries and books and stuff. Because I was always kind of intrigued by it because it has such a negative, like black magic kind of thing in the United States. But for him, it was a very spiritual thing. Like there's nothing evil about voodoo at all. And that cross just kind of really intrigued me a lot. And I just really wanted to explore that whole dynamic. And then, and like I said, you know, kind of crossing the two. So like she's, you know, one of like, you know, the people that emailed us from Voodoo religion that think that we're trying to demonize the religion and ruin their culture. They said that we don't kill people, we don't sacrifice people, we sacrifice animals. I was like, okay, well that's better, you know. Like, well, I mean, so because this woman sacrifices an actual human being, we're demonizing your religion. Okay, fine, buddy, good job. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of like I just kind of, you know, I had to do something to make it her a little bit more evil than the standard voodoo priestess, you know, because just like any good and bad, you know, you're gonna have, you know, good priests and bad priests. You know, you're gonna have good pastors and bad pastors, and you know, with this religion in particular, she just took it to another level, and that's what makes her an antagonist and a bad guy, you know?
Well, and that's just it. Like voodoo is one of those things where immediately as soon as you hear it, you kind of unfortunately think of like the voodoo dolls and the witchcraft behind it and all that sort of stuff. And I can get how some people get their panties in a bunch about it, but at the end of the day, it's a film. Let's all just relax.
Yeah, it's a movie, you know, like, and I'm definitely not the first or the last to make something about voodoo that is, I guess, evil, you know, but again, you know, it was just one person. It wasn't necessarily the whole religion. I didn't make an entire country evil. Like for instance, like Serpent in the Rainbow, like when he Bill Pullman went to Haiti and stuff, like it seemed like everyone in that country was like a bad guy, you know, it's like, I didn't do that. At least, you know, it was just one person. So you know, you take the good with the bad, you know, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, for sure. And like, so the one thing that I was maybe a little bit of a stickler. I try not to be a stickler, but I was like, this poor girl, she had no idea that this guy was cheating, and she still ends up going to hell. I was like, Tom, you bastard.
You know, everyone asks you that too. And first, number one is like sometimes evil wins. And, you know, if you look at like a lot of like really cool movies from like the 80s and stuff, like Jason, you know, like jumping out of the water and dragging her down, and you really didn't know until part 2 that it was, or I guess you did wake up in the pool, but I think they reshot that. But it was like, I just wanted to show a movie where evil wins, one. But also number two, the truth of that story is that she did know he was married. And we were going to do a shot. It was written, and we had the scene ready to go. And everyone kind of shot me down with it. They thought it would be way more evil if we let everyone think that she was innocent in that. But she lied about a few things during the course of the story, like about the abortion and stuff. And so you kind of get the idea that she is a liar, and that she might be just saying stuff with Stacey that, you know, would appease her, not make her hate her, or keep up this good girl image. You know, that was the whole thing about the two characters. You know, one's supposed to be like this wild child, and the other one's supposed to be like a goody two-shoes, where Danny is the goody two-shoes. So, you know, but you see that she's lying and stuff. So, but yeah, the truth is that she did know that he was married.
Nice. And you know what? Saying that, I think that does actually kind of work out a little bit more, because it is pretty sinister. Like, if there was a section that she said it, I don't necessarily think that would change any sort of feelings I had. I think it was just one of those afterthoughts that I was like, that poor girl. But really, she's a lying whore, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Right.
I'm not gonna lie though, when the devil gets up and hits her bareback, I'm assuming bareback, I was dying. I was laughing so hard.
It's so funny, man, because like that's obviously like the climax, you know, so to speak, and no pun intended. But yeah, It's funny how people, there's people that respond to that like that was awesome. There's people that respond to that was disgusting. There's people that respond, it really is affecting like everyone like in a real hard way. And that's definitely like one of the scenes that is doing it. I mean, that for me, it was just about the whole thing was, how does the devil make you stay in hell or keep you in hell? And he has sex with you. That's like one of the things that I was, like now you're his.
Well, it's funny. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just twisted, but I'm like, I think the devil would fuck better than that. like he just looked awkward.
No, we were going to do that. That was the whole thing. We shot that thing at like 60 frames a second because we were going to speed it up. And we were going to make it like this weird, like, there was this whole tempo that I had in my head of the way he would fuck. And then we just couldn't do it because the way that the camera kept panning and stuff, we just couldn't find the right. It was impossible to do that and then bring it back to normal. So, but good thinking because I was on the same page.
That's too funny. No, he's like kind of grabbing her hair, I'm like that. I was dying, man. It was effective. It was effective, but it fucking just made me laugh pretty bad. But that is fucking like that is like the pinnacle of like scary shit would be getting fucked by the devil. Like
yeah, I mean, like, we were going to show his penis even and stuff, but then we went back into the whole, well, could we get distribution if he showed his penis, this giant red penis thing, it was such a, I don't know, still to this day, man, it was still like, I don't know, like how people are responding to it, but it definitely is like setting out an emotional reaction to every single person that sees it. Like love it or hate it, it definitely hits a chord.
So like, okay. And then I know I'm going down Weirdsville. So you were thinking about showing the devil's hog. Did you have was it going to look super weird or like spiked?
Yeah, there was going to be horns on it.
Of course there was going to be horns on it.
Like it was going to be horned and thorned. So like there was going to be these two big horns on the tip and then thorns throughout the shaft.
See, and that's exactly how I picture the devil's penis. Things I never thought I'd say.
Wood for her pleasure.
Oh shit, man. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're getting the reception, whether it's good or bad. At the end of the day, it's definitely generating some fucking energy for you guys. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I don't know like how I feel about it, but from a PR standpoint, they love it. The PR firm and the marketing team and the distributor, they're in love with the fact that people are responding the way that they're responding, good or bad. And I'll take it, man. Like I said, I just wanted to make a movie where it went straight to DVD and stuff. And even like the cover, the poster art, it was designed to look like a door with like this symbol on it, and like, what is this? This supposed to be curious that made you enticed to buy it. And, but good or bad, they own the movie now, so it's not my decision anymore.
There was there's one scene that I really loved, and that was and it's like the typical picture that's circulating around when she hits the night vision real quick.
Yeah,
that I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I thought that was really well done.
Oh, thank you, man, so much. That was actually one of the first shots that I had in my head when making the script.
No, I really, really dug that. And I know some people are kind of throwing shit at you for like the little sort of paranormal activity effects you did. I thought it was all effective. I truly did like the movie. I thought that it had its little issues that I pissed about, but at the end of the day, I really dug the flick.
Well, thank you, man, so much. And that's kind of like, I think like the ongoing norm, like people, they don't know how to take it. They're like, okay, this isn't The Exorcist and this isn't Vampire Bikers from Hell Part 4. It's like somewhere in the middle and it's like in this weird place. Like even like I said, like Roger Ebert and LA Times giving us like the reviews that they gave us. I was like, oh my God, like I never thought in a million years that like RogerEbert.com and LA Times would give me a good review. But so it's like, thank you very much, I guess is like all I could say. But it's funny because it's like a lot of the horror people, it's like a 50-50, man. We got like 40 like pretty good reviews, and then we got like 20, 30 really bad reviews. So thank God we have more good than we do bad. But again, it goes right back into the love it or hate it thing. You know, it's like you either love it or you hate it. It's hard to say if anyone's in the middle with it.
Yeah, for sure. So this demon is out into the world. What's next for Tom? What do you got going on now?
I'm trying to do that movie about my dad I was talking about earlier. I could do that one pretty fast. And then I'm also working on a picture with Frank Collada, who wrote Casino with Nick Pileggi. Excuse me. It's about this gangster named Mad Sam DeStefano, and this guy was like a maniac, like, on every level. I highly advise you look this guy up. He was a gangster in the 60s in Chicago, and it was like Hannibal Lecter and the Mafia, and he was just like running amok, like doing the craziest stuff. And Frank is actually one of the, I've never read anything like this before. And actually, when I grew up in Chicago, everyone still knew his name and everyone was so scared of him, even though he had already been dead for like 15 years. You know, like his name still scared everybody from the neighborhood. So I always wanted to make a movie about that guy. And as I got older, and I didn't know why I was scared of him. I knew some stories, but it wasn't until like books started coming out later on in life, like I was like 20, 25, that I started reading about it. And it was even worse than what I had known. And like I said, Frank is one of the only people still left alive that even knew the man. Like, he knew him. So I'm thank God, because like Frank is an awesome dude. And so we're working on that in earnest, but that's still like very early. We're only on like about maybe like page 25 or something like that.
That's awesome, man. So you're kind of looking to get away from the horror genre, kind of go into some other direction?
Well, actually, both these pictures are kind of horror. Like this one in particular, like I said, it's like Hannibal in the Mafia, and the way like this guy worships Satan, and he was a torture killer. A lot of people compare it to the gangster movie with Johnny Depp, which I still haven't seen, and I should. I just been so busy with Voodoo the past couple of years, I haven't been able to watch anything. But so that is kind of a horror. It's like a drama horror, and then the movie about my dad is a horror.
So the one about your dad, is that going to be like a short, or that's going to be a full length?
Full length. It's kind of like Dazed and Confused meets The Shining.
Oh, shit. And that's pretty wild, man. That's a crazy combination. And so is this tough? Is it tough to kind of write about that sort of shit?
Not really. I mean, in the beginning, it was like way more. I put too much heart into it, I should say, opposed to like looking at it from a third person standpoint, which is where you got to do it when you're writing. So yeah, I mean, it's been so long since I've had a relationship with that man, you know. So I have no qualm, not at all.
I'm sure it was kind of cathartic to get that shit out. Maybe that's kind of a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it just always. I mean, I love my dad, and you know what he did with my mother. You know, it really didn't. It affected me in every way. But at the same time, it was like he still loved me and he never treated me that way. So there was like this whole weird thing like happening with my dad. Like I didn't know how to handle him or how to deal with him, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And I think that like I said, you know, the whole Anakin thing. And so I have a huge compassion level for my father that my mother, for instance, would hate if I admitted that.
Yeah.
But she, I can't tell her that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it is what it is. He was a good kid that went bad, and that's just the way it is.
That's awesome, man. I don't know. That's interesting, man. Yeah, like I said, you got a fan. I can't wait to see what else comes out and what you do. And I'm definitely going to support whatever you do. Anything that comes out, man, send it my way. We'll make sure we get it to the masses.
Dude, Fear, you're so awesome, man. Thank you so much.
No, thanks a lot. Is there any social media, any links you'd like to throw out? That way guys can go and check out Voodoo or any of your other projects. If you go to the Facebook page, which is voodoothemovie.com, or just search Voodoo the Movie on Facebook, it goes to the Facebook page with the trailers and the pictures and all the other media and stuff like that, the reviews. Your review is on there. And check it out, man. It's on Amazon, iTunes, Voodoo, YouTube channel, Dish Network, Sling, Verizon Fios. It's all over the place. So if you want to check it out, please go to any one of those. Absolutely, man. I'll make sure that when this does drop, all those links are in here so people can just click and go. Because it is one. It's a fantastic movie. It's a complete sort of fucking cerebral mind fuck with a spiked dick. Like, you got to go see it, because there's no way else to describe it. Like you said, you'll love it, you'll hate it, but either way, you will be entertained by this movie.
Oh, thank you, man, very much. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
No, thanks for coming on the show, man. We'll stay in touch, but definitely thank you so much for coming on and chatting tonight.
Likewise, man. Anytime, man. Call me.
For sure. I'll hit you up. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Fear, so much.
See you, brother. And kiddies, that's FEARCast for the week. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully we got your week going in the right direction, giving you some metal and some horror talk. And look forward to the Naked Porch. It's going to round out Hump Day on Wednesday. And then fifth cast will get you giggling your ass off on your way to the weekend. I want to thank Tom for being on the show. Voodoo is definitely a movie you better check out. There'll be links to this in the show notes on FYFCstudios.com. I also want to thank Traverse the Abyss, who I'm going to put all their links in as well. If you'd like to be showcased as the Song of the Week, or possibly on the mixtape podcast that I'm going to do up, you can head over and email me at fear@fyfcstudios.com. Send me a bio, high-res logo, and your latest MP3 or EPK if you've got it. And you never know, you could end up being showcased on the show. In the meantime, make sure you stay up to date with all things FYFC by visiting fyfcstudios.com and following us on all the social medias. Seriously, we're on them all. Until next week, run along, kiddies.
Hey guys, it's Fear from FYFC Studios. I really hope you're enjoying Talk Life, FEARCast, or A&Way. Plus, there's always lots of entertainment over on our website. Because I'm a cannabis advocate and often forget things, I wanted to make a little bumper to get you fine folks to head over to nftfyb.com. No fucking time for your bullshit. That's how we do. Again, that's www.nftfyb.com. Feel free to reach out on any social media. We're always looking for cool people to talk to, get somebody else's opinion on something, crazy stories you see in the news that you'd love to see us react to. Look, we'll probably never be consistent, but we'll always be entertaining. Thank you for listening. One last time, nftfyb.com.